Christina's conscious synergetic thought process presents Planet Utopia, episode 11, 18, 22, Consequential General Reality Impoverishment. Our humanity is exhausted by the ever reenacting, articulating, increasing tolerance magnitudes of the residual inaccuracies of observation and articulation. Evolving modern humans can no longer consciously adhere to this consequential general reality impoverishment. Synergetics 982.51. Irrational fractionation inadvertently engenders volumes of exacerbating partial system considerations. In turn, the partial system considerations persistently exclude omnirational, most economic thought language coordination, adding insults to injury as human populations are fixated on politicizing reality while propagating irrational biases. The irrational biases act out self-serving education strategies with few to none actually pinpointing the crux of the problem that may well reinitiate subconscious, ignorantly fearful cautionaries referentially to technologies of the XYZ coordinate systems, rectilinear limit increments. It is where there is no conceptual model ability that the experientially observing mind's individual economic initiative could possibly correlate to an integrally conceptual operational field. At the close of the day, after observing the articulated frustrations as news events and variously disseminated internet content on the computer monitor or television screen, it categorically comprises volumes of irrationally devised human events. Among human events is the non-identically processed, repetitively irreversible succession EISEDP experiences, intuitions, speculations, experiments, discoveries, production. Synergetics 502.22. Unless intellect is aware of the synergetic comparison to constructively compose referential explanation, what hope can there be for any rationally induced discussion, reading, writing, self-publishing on the internet, referential to the manifesting genius, experientially exposes the long-sought solutions as exemplified here, referentially to Synergetics 982.50 through 982.53. Since most of us, including me, has no educated knowledge of what the XYZ coordinate system and the CGS increments are, but recently have become synergetically aware of the tetrahedron, octahedron, icosahedron, and vector equilibrium conceptualities, logically, we do not need first to convert the linear, areal, and volumetric values. Instead, we can commence with conceptualities of Synergetics' operational field, which is the isotropic vector matrix's modulating model ability. It is reasonable to suppose, therefore, that eventually we will know increasingly more about the most astute applications of the isotropic vector matrix operational field complex, correlating to the most economically behaving governing system that coincides with manifesting the unity of a true democracy as it now stands. Most of us from every walk of life go about our daily coexistence having no informed awareness of the model ability that is dimensionally sized unbeknownst to us, is the corresponding incorrect education in respect to mensuration of experience versus conceptual synergetic model accountability. Such general reality impoverishments typically are not significantly considered as the least desirable economic initiated thought language coordination, because in the normal course of events we are not obligated to choose between what is operationally developable with respect to the governing system's economic accountability. Awareness of such operations is not consciously required for our individual participation as a constituent in the underway governing system correlating to our humanity's day-to-day survival. We are approximately unaware such comparisons underlie 1, 2, 3-dimensional partial system considerations versus 4 dimensions, 5th and 6th dimensional accountability. Consequently, it would not dawn on anyone in a complexity of diverse sociological traditions to consciously compare coordinate systems and the individual's geometry of thinking. Such mensuration occurs anyway, and usually is expected by those whose educated ignorance goes unnoticed, as it is not expected to correlate to cooperating constituents that literally and technically comprise entire populations, the people who adapt to the manifest form of governments local to living, learning, working, playing, procreating, surviving. To make the irrational matters more complicated is the authoritative permission that devises communication technologies to perpetuate the relative unaware ignorance, where the egotistical human personalities are further encouraged to play its self-adoring part in the confusion. It continues, in absences of forethought, of the Synergetics coordinate system. Informed awareness of initial 4-dimensional modelability requires receptive mentalities to naturally question the reenacting articulations that for all intents and purposes misgoverns generations of humans without knowledge of it. The generations, in turn, are counted as essential constituents forming consensuses in the voting process, whether it is a quasi-democracy, a pseudo-democracy, or degrees of socialism progressing into communism. The world local to human inhabitation consists of systems, living, breathing populations, each of whom has a brain and a mind for experiencing, thinking, imagining, regenerating, anticipatory realities as a relevant contributory input-output factor in the universal communications process. The universal communications process occurs on the spherical planet, a 10,000 frequency geodesic sphere. You could balk at such complex implications. After all, you and I are average people, not expected to delve into variously contrived least or most accurate operations. Isn't that what taxes pay for, to operate the most important offices that the people expect to behave with the utmost integrity? But what is going on that perpetually contradicts the system's integrity, that is also impervious to the truth that each of us is born, designed in principle, to question all experiential, experimental aspects of the evolving environment? What constitutes the conceptual system's dimensionality? Now, imagine designing Planet Utopia's pristine environment that is a prototype emulation of planet Earth's 10,000 frequency geodesic sphere. Is it possible to recognize, acknowledge, and accredit our individual, inviolable integrity relevant to systemic thoughts, anticipatory realities, as a consciously essential omnirational constituent of the omnirational universe's essential environment? Is this, as we individually are no longer indifferent to four-dimensional modelability that is operationally developable by frequency modulations? I ask. Primarily because we have already been informed of the only two possible covariables that are operatives in all universe design, which is modification of angle and frequency. Besides, since we really have no conscious knowledge of the XYZ coordinate system's limited rectilinear frame of reference, that is dimensionally sized by the arbitrary CGS system subdividing increments, we can start fresh with Synergetics' coordinate system. Its initial polyhedral conceptual modelability accommodates four dimensions. This means that since it is operationally developable by frequency modulation, modern humans can anticipate, eventually integrating systemic thought's awareness of the tetrahedron as the minimum structural system's eternal pattern integrity, as an integral function of the isotropic vector matrix operational field complex, a cosmic hierarchy to accommodate fifth and sixth dimensional accountability. Logically, it would be an essential function, subsequent to having already memory stored in our individual brain, this potential of modification of angle and frequency, which of course induces us to further wonder about omnidirectional wavelength and frequency and all that can be made of such information. By the way, let's recall again today that the 8 U's of Planet Utopia are rememberable. U for universe, U for utopia, U for unique, U for unity, U for unifying, U for ubiquitous, U for understanding, U for us, ubiquitously understanding us, humans of the eternal omniscient mind, a highly intelligent evolving human mammalian species designing systems for survival on planet Utopia. Referential links: Synergetics table of contents, Synergetics color plate 9, cosmic hierarchy, Synergetics 100.010.011.012, Synergetics 201.10 through 201.11 AAA, and OEA, an absolute accommodation network of energy articulation. Synergetics 200.06, Synergetics 240.05, a point. Synergetics 240.06, align. Synergetics 251.50, a single conceptual system. Synergetics 301.10, Synergetics 311.15 through 311.18, reintegrating and restoring timeless zero-phase unity. Synergetics 420.02, the isotropic vector matrix. Synergetics 422.00, octet truss. Synergetics 443.01 through .03, vector equilibrium as equanimity model. Synergetics 522.31, Synergetics 522.32, Synergetics 527.21, Synergetics 540.02 through 540.04, Synergetics 982.50 through 982.53, Synergetics 1224.21, wave pulsation of number 24, Synergetics 1224.30, Shahrazad number, Synergetics 1238.28, spherical quadrant phase. Music, my co-writer backing tracks, safe, stereo mix, from drumsondemand.com/collection/Michael backing tracks. Contact planetutopia60@gmail.com, anticipating our healthy, happy coexistence on Earth and on Planet Utopia. Thank you.